calls for government to step in, the Crow's Ben Bugara spoke with a labor expert on why making transit an essential service could undermine the rights of workers.
BC United leader Kevin Falcon took to social media yesterday blaming the NDP for the ongoing Coast Mountain bus strike. As of now, transit has not been deemed an essential service by the BC Labour Board, but the opposition party believes steps should be taken to put the service in that category. Dr. Mark Thompson, Professor Emeritus at the Sauder School of Business, says adding transit to the essential service category could undermine the rights of unionized workers.
People that say, well, make it an essential service, what they're really saying is they don't want the workers to go on strike. That conflicts with the charter.
Labour Minister Harry Bains said yesterday the province would consider appointing a special mediator, but added he hopes it can be resolved before those steps are necessary. Ben Bugura, BCIT's The Crow.
We are now here with Ben to talk a little bit more on his story. Ben, a few questions. One, why does this province want to hold off getting involved?
Well, it can get a little bit messy, Grace, if the province gets involved. Obviously, because with these types of union disputes, TransLink and Coast Mountain Bus Company are technically private companies. They're not run by the provincial government. So my understanding of the situation from talking with Dr. Thompson and his expertise in these types of labor disputes is that if the province gets involved, it would need to kind of set a precedent of it being under the Essential Services banner, which would have to go through the BC Labour Board.
Okay, and are these concerns that the CMBC gave in the union demands that it would set an unfair wage precedent?
There's actually a lot of concerns about that today. According to TransLink, if CMBC gave in to that 25% wage increase demand, it would set an unfair precedent for future labor negotiations. And for a company that they feel is already very, very underfunded because of pandemic drops in ridership and just revenue going down in general, that this would be something that would potentially cash trap the company further going forward. Grace?
Okay, thank you so much, Ben. With all buses now not in operation, the question that may arise, what do students usually rely on transit? Transit plans to get to class. Our reporter Riley Leung spoke with BCIT students on his story of getting to school.
Monday saw a chaotic day for regular public transit users as they realized that buses were not in operation due to the ongoing dispute. Post-secondary students were greatly affected, leading many schools to shift to online learning. BCIT, on the other hand, did not follow. This saw many students concerned about how they will get to their classes. Elisha Newman, a BCIT student, shared his experience getting to campus from North Delta.
And then of course I check my phone finally, and then I find out there's a strike going on. I'm like, well, this is great. I'm now late for class. How am I supposed to get there? I don't have access to a car. I'm going to have to call an Uber, a taxi, and that's going to be, another $50 or so. And as a student, I'm already in enough money, financial stuff, right?
The transit strike is set to end on Wednesday, but there is no certainties that it will extend. Riley Leung, BCIT The Crow.
The Transportation Ministry says Highway 1 through the Fraser Canyon will be closed overnight to remove a temporary bridge 20 kilometers south of Lytton. The minister says drivers are asked to take the Coquihalla or Highway 3 as alternative routes between the Lower Mainland and the interior. The temporary bridge at Falls Creek has been in place since the section of Highway 1 was damaged in the November 2021 atmospheric river flooding event. The ministry says it is working with emergency services to allow their access through the site during bridge removal. As we continue through winter, of course, the cold weather will make it easier for infections, disease, and colds to occur. Our reporter Melanie Levesque has more information.
As the winter season continues, the BC Centre for Disease Control is warning Canadians of increased infections of Group A streptococcal, the virus widely known to cause strep throat. Over the holidays, 4 children died of related infections in the province. Cases of the virus have nearly doubled among youth since 2022. After contracting Group A streptococcal, one may experience a range of mild to severe symptoms, including skin infections, which can be fatal if left untreated. Currently, there's no vaccine to protect against the virus, so authorities are suggesting hand washing and isolating when sick to prevent more infections. Melanie Levesque, BCIT, The Crow.
The president of Alberta Medical Association says a recent survey of family doctors suggested primary care in the province is in critical condition. Dr. Paul Parks has shared the results of the online survey taken between January 16th and 19th. The survey was on the viability of family physicians and rural generalist clinics in Alberta. The survey, which was conducted by Think HQ, suggests 91% of more than 1,300 doctors who responded are concerned about the continued financial viability of their practices. 6 in 10 family doctors surveys said that financial state of their medical practice is poor, while fewer than 1 in 10 said their practices are performing well financially. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada says a plane has crashed near Fort Smith in the Northwest Territories. The airline website says it has 2 of the planes in its fleet that can carry 19 passengers. There's no word on how many people were in the plane that crashed or if there are any injuries or fatalities. The safety board said it's ending the investigators to the scene, sending. A representative for the company did not provide immediate comment. Joint Rescue Coordination Center Trenton confirmed that the military responded after the plane lost control shortly after taking off near Fort Smith. And Charles Osgood, who anchored CBC Sunday Morning for more than 2 decades, has died. He was 91. Osgood also hosted the long-running radio program The Osgood Files and was referred to as CBS's new poet-in-residence. CBS reports that Osgood died today at his home in New Jersey. Here's the sound of one of Osgood's broadcasts from August 1966 while he was working for ABC News Radio Network.
This is Charles Osgood, ABC New York, with the latest news from ABC Radio. In the top of the news, a sniper in Austin, and a reporter tells what happened. Details in a moment.
And those were your news updates for 3:30 p.m. We will return shortly after this break with sports news.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in.
This is sports on 1680 The Crow.
And welcome back to BCIT The Crow. On to sporting news. In Canucks news, the Vancouver Canucks debuted their new and much anticipated metallic blue and shiny helmets at this morning's practice at Rogers Arena. There is no word on when or if they will be debuted in a live season game and are currently just wearing for practice. Many fans on social media have provided some positive comments on the new look. Continuing our hockey conversation, Victoria was the host of the national hockey event this weekend. Our reporter Nathan Malley was there and has more.
Hockey Day in Canada, a yearly event that showcases stories within the sport and offers an opportunity to introduce it to anyone interested, was held in Victoria this year. The event started last Wednesday and wrapped up Saturday with an all-day live broadcast that included a PWHL game as well as all 7 Canadian NHL teams in action. Brenda McFarland, treasurer of the Victoria Hockey Legacy Society, along with her husband Alan, said that hockey is the source of many of their friendships.
We came to Victoria without friends,
But we put our kid in hockey, and every friend that I have is connected to hockey somehow. My very dearest girlfriends are all the mothers of my son's hockey teammates. So did it ever bring me community?
The McFarlands also said they were pleased that the event could bring more people together through the game of hockey like it did for them and their friends. Nathan Maley, BCIT's The Crow.
Bruce Covington, a former offensive lineman who won 2 Grey Cups with the Calgary Stampeders, died earlier today. He was 57. The Stampeders confirmed Covington's death, but the cause wasn't discussed. Calgary selected Covington first overall in the 1992 CFL draft out of Weber State. The native of Morris, Manitoba, spent 7 seasons with the Stampeders, starting as a rookie and helping the franchise win Grey Cups in 1992 and 98. He was the West Division's top rookie in 1992. Covington was the West Division's All-Stars from 1993 to 1994 and earned CFL honors in 1993. Also in CFL, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will have a new home this season. The CFL club announced Tuesday its home venue will go by the name of the Princess Auto Stadium. The officials' change will come about in April. And the facility has been known as the IG Field, but will be renamed at the expiration of the club's 12-year naming rights agreement with IG Wealth Management. Now in Formula One motorsport news, the Spanish Grand Prix, which is normally in Barcelona, is moving locations to Madrid for the 2026 season. An agreement with the IFEMA Madrid Exhibition Center says that they will be here until 2035. This will be an all-new circuit featuring 20 corners and a projected qualifying lap time of 1 minute and 32 seconds. It is also hoping to host a capacity of 110,000 fans per day in all viewing areas, as well as even expand before their debut season. This will make Madrid one of the largest venues on the F1 calendar. And in Olympic news for France, French President Emmanuel Macron has told top athletes he hopes that France will reach the top 5 of the Paris Olympic medal table, but he doesn't want to put the excessive pressure. He says France will have a record negligation of about 800 Olympic and Paralympic athletes, with the Games beginning in July. Macron visited the national judo team and said, quote, "Our Olympic top 5 goal is more than ever achievable," end quote. The French president also listed security, public transportation, and accessibility as that. Those were your sports and news updates for 3:30. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Grace McLeod with BCIT The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
I am Alicia Nolasco with BCIT The Crow, and this is the story of the day. Thousands of Metro Vancouver residents are without bus and C-Bus services again today. The strike by 180 transit supervisors is now into its second day. QP Local 4500 spokesperson Liam O'Neill says the union is aware that the job action is impacting thousands of commuters, but says they were left with no choice when negotiations were broke down. O'Neill says Coast Mountain Bus Company is unwilling to deal with wage discrepancies with other supervisors and claims the company is bullying the union. Yesterday, picket lines went up at several locations around Metro Vancouver, including the Bus Depot in Burnaby. Other unions from TransLink, like Move Up, were there in solidarity, refusing to cross the picket lines. The strike is expected to end tomorrow morning. However, if no resolution is made, more job action might happen. Alicia Nolasco, BCIT, The Crow.
I'm Sebastián Arancibia with BCIT News. The experts have spoken. Oscar nominations are out, but we wanted to ask people on campus what was the movie from last year that they resonated the most with. Let's hear their answer.
Probably Barbie. Barbie for sure. It was just so fun.
Can you tell us why a little bit more?
It was just like such a fun movie, like with femininity and played with like a lot of different like roles, and also was just really nostalgic, I think, for a lot of people.
I really enjoyed Oppenheimer. Yeah. The cinematics was really good. The music was really good.
Favorite movie from 2023 was definitely The Hunger Games, Songbirds and Snakes, Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, and I resonated with it because it just kind of took me back to like the nostalgia of 2014.
The movie that resonated with me most was Avatar, The Way of the Water. I watched it in Screen X, and it was kind of like a new experience with all of the movie like on the wall and such.
I'd say Barbie. I didn't expect it to be. I went like with no expectations, and it's pretty funny.
100% Priscilla. Loved that movie so much. It resonated with me because it's a story of isolation, and I feel like at the hands of someone you love. And not to reveal too much about myself, but it's relatable.
So now you know the answer. I'm Sebastián Arancibia with BCIT News.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.